Good evening, everyone. This is Harold and Delonica with Love and Marriage, and we are so excited to be with you on tonight. Oh, we have a great show on tonight. We have our guest back tonight that shared some tips at our Love and Marriage Black Tie Affair, and the feedback was so good, wasn't it, baby?
Was.
It was good.
Yeah, so
It
we had
was
to have seafood back on.
Yeah, just kind of explain what he gave out and what he was teaching us on that night.
Mhm.
And when I tell you love was in the air,
Uh-huh.
healing was in the air, it was
Hey.
a lot that was happening at the
Yes.
Black Tie Fair.
Yes, yes. Hey, before we bring Mr. Seafood in, we would like for you to share this video. Seafood, of course, every time he comes on, he has great tips for couples out there, great tips to take note of if you're single or if you're engaged to be married. But let us know where you're tuning in from. If you're tuning in from Texas, Arizona, California, Pakistan, wherever you're
Mm.
tuning in from, let us know. Put it down in the chat.
Pakistan?
Hey, we got
Yeah.
friends there.
Yes,
So,
we
and
do.
then also, if you catch us after replay, put hashtag replay that let us know. And then if there's a tip that is shared tonight that stands out to you, put that down in the chat as well too.
Yeah. All right. So at this time and moment, we want to bring our guest in, Seafood Roman.
There we go. Hi, dear sir. Oh my goodness, Seafood, what happened at the Black Tie Affair?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you guys on a very successful event. You had a great turnout, great people showed up, they were very excited about everything that we are doing, and thank you for the opportunity to share with them. We've had some of them join our Love Renewal Challenge. As you know, it's coming up this week, and so we're excited to have a large percentage of the people who attended your event there. But yeah, it was great. It was a great time of sharing. I think people were surprised by some of the things that we shared. It gave them an opportunity to work on things that they didn't have an opportunity to work on.
Yes. Seafood, now this is what I thought was so awesome that stood out to me was when you had us to turn to one another. You didn't just talk to us. You actually had us to walk this whole healing process out. And not only did you have us walk out healing, but you had us to also walk out goal settings, some goals. We had to talk to each other about goals for our marriage. And so take us to the through the first part of that. What did you have us to do as couples?
Well, I call it the circle of love and trust, and it's a process, it's an exercise, and it's part of the coaching methodology. As you know, I use what's called the triangle method. And it's a method that I discovered many years ago that I created, and I continue to use it today. And it's all about healing the past because we got to get the past out of the way. The past can prevent us from being here in the present and really paying attention to our partner and we don't want to bring the past into the present, right? So that's one. And then two is, okay, let's talk about the present moment. What's going on in the present moment? How are you feeling in the present moment? And then finally, let's create a compelling future. What are your goals? What are your hopes? Especially for the relationship. When people first get in a relationship, they talk about the future and their hopes and their dreams and they're excited. And at some point that drops off. And I think that's unfortunate. So I think one of the things that a lot of people have been sharing with me that attended the event and had the chance to actually go through it is exactly that. There were some conversations that needed to happen, and they were able to talk about things, their hopes and dreams that they hadn't discussed before.
Oh, that was good. That was good. So there was one part that, and that was at the beginning.
We are getting a lot of feedback. I don't understand why, but
Mm.
go ahead. I'm trying to work through it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um, yeah, that this must be important information for somebody out there that's tuning in or will tune in. But at the beginning, you had us to look at each other, and you didn't just tell us to apologize or ask for forgiveness, but you actually like walked us through like what to say to one another to bring healing. And it was so powerful. Like you was like, talk about you had the men to go first and to talk about this is what I did to hurt you and I apologize for this event or for this what I said or what I did. And and what amazed me is there's a picture that's going around and it is just all the couples standing up just holding each other, looking each other in the face, and there were tears, there were smiles, there was faces of compassion. Oh, it was so beautiful, Sifu. From where you could see, I don't know how far you could see the couples, but it was beautiful.
I
I know
could.
you kept
I
saying
saw
like
some
you
people
saw couples
kissing. I saw
kissing.
people connecting, and that's a beautiful thing to see, right? And even for somebody who, I think there were some singles that ended up working together or something like that through some of the exercises. Is that correct?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah. But
yeah,
this idea of seeing somebody. So many times we look at somebody, but we don't really see them.
yes.
And that to me is so important, for them to sit, turn, face each other, hold hands, and just really be present. No talking, just really taking it in and really looking and seeing their partner, this soul, this person, this individual that's in front of them. And that's why we start the
Yes.
exercise that way, right?
Right. And that all alone was powerful, just looking at each other in our eyes, just holding each other's gazes. But what is the importance of that? What have you noticed about couples like that they don't look at each other anymore eye to eye? They don't hold each other's hand. There's no what is
Well,
that?
think about this. I had somebody I was speaking to the other day, and they had a miscommunication with their partner. And what they told me was that I was just about to walk out the door, and then my partner said X, and I quickly replied with Z, and all of a sudden it turned into this whole thing, and now I was late for work because, we was going at it. And I said, oh, that's interesting. I said, when you turned it down to reply, were you actually looking at your partner? I said, no, I was trying to get out the house. So they were very deliberate or intentional. And sometimes, especially when it's an important conversation, we need to be deliberate and very intentional with, okay, I'm going to be present to you right now to really understand what you're trying to communicate to me. Now, that in that
Mm,
situation, that's probably not the best time to be intentional, deliberate, but to say to your partner, you know what? I'd love to talk to you about that right now. However,
mhm,
as you know, I'm trying to get out the house to go to work. So let's
mhm.
set some time aside tonight when I get home where I can do that. I can put the phone aside, we can be present, we can make eye contact, right? And then have our conversation from that space.
Yes. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really, really good. I think I don't know, we dropped the ball with communicating to one another and just really just talking, just like sometimes we misunderstand one another very easily. And is do you think it's because our feelings are already like intense? It's an intense moment.
Say that one more time. I'm struggling to hear you. You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh no. Okay, can you hear me better now?
It's
A little bit,
Or
yeah.
is it
and the sound is not. It's,
not coming? So what I was saying was, do you think it's because of the moment, the intense moment, that couples are misunderstanding each other and not communicating?
Yeah, well, if you think about it, we're busy, right? We're all busy. We have things going on with work, we have stuff going on at home with the kids, and sometimes we don't take the time to really be present, to really like notice our partner. What is their expression? What are they trying to convey to us? When you think about communication, body language is what percentage? It's like the largest percentage of what somebody's saying, right? It's so easy to misunderstand somebody or allow the past even to come in, right? Like jumping
Mhm,
to conclusions or making assumptions about something that happened in the past because this is what I heard and I wasn't really paying attention to. I just heard these words, right? And so
mhm,
when we take the time to be present, we take the time
mhm.
to really notice each other, to look at each other, when we're deliberate about making the time, whether it's at the end of the day, on the weekend, whatever it is, to say, okay, we're just going to sit and we're going to totally engage with each other, right? Nothing else is going on. This is our time. You set aside an hour, whatever it is, and I'm going to stop everything I'm doing, no phones, and it's just you and me, right? Even now, for instance, if you and Harold can turn to each other for a second,
Hmm.
right? I don't know how I was trying to fix the sound, but if you two turn to each other and just really turn and face each other if you can, and then hold hands, right? And then slightly lean forward, right? And then really make good eye contact. Doesn't that feel better than when you're just kind of sitting in your chairs and not feeling close, and yet you're still talking, you're conversing, but you're not really connecting,
Hmm.
right? And
Right.
it's so critical to really take that time to connect.
That's so true.
True.
I just want to cut the cameras off. It's been some good news.
Wow.
Oh boy. But Sifu, that is really, really good. I really wish we would have had this years ago. Just some of these nuggets for our marriage, because I think it was so difficult when we first got married. It was so much. It was so many moving pieces that we was trying to bring together. But we were having children and we were working, we have careers. It was just so much going on, so many moving pieces. And sometimes just to take that moment just to stop and just to shut everything down, look at each other in the eyes and be very present and really talk from the heart and the soul.
Yeah. When you think about anything, right? You think about a successful business, there's a structure to it, right?
Mm.
And when we think about our household, there has to be a structure to the household in order for the household to run successfully. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, and managing children and managing our time. And for so many couples, by the time they're reaching their day, they're exhausted, right? And sometimes they're exhausted because they're not on the same page, because somebody's going right and somebody's going left, and then there's no time to be and come together and say, okay, what went right, what didn't go right, where do we need to adjust, right? And just making that time to do that on a consistent basis is really critical and very important. And I think where a lot of the couples shared with me is that they stopped doing that, or they lost that connection. And what they found is that at the moment they were not only able to connect, but talk about some very difficult things or challenging things that they're currently going through in their relationships. And so that's why I think that exercise was just the right exercise for that night, and just very, very powerful way for them to learn how to communicate through some difficulties.
So, Sifu, what would you say to couples that are watching or that will be on and watch the video? What would you say to them if they're having a difficult time? Why is coaching so important? And more so, I personally, I think Harold and I tell people, like, even in our books or whether we're coaching, like, it's better to do it when at that moment that you're like, I don't want people in my business.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you go to the divorce court, everybody's in your business. Everybody knows now. Like, what would you tell a couple that was having, why coaching is important?
I work with a lot of couples from a lot of different walks of life who have different challenges. They're in different places. I have couples that are dealing with infidelity. I have couples that actually are doing quite well, but still want coaching, right, around certain issues or different aspects of their life. None of us have all the answers. the thing about coaching is that you have the answers in you. My job is to ask the questions to draw those things out and to provide
Right.
experiences through experiential coaching that help you to connect, relate, share, and understand each other better. And that's what I try to do. And that's why so much of my coaching is experiential. It's really about providing experience that allows you then to have a different perspective and to approach things in a different way. It's not about telling you what to do or how to live your life. Of course, there's some didactic things that we'll talk about feeling safe. I mean, safety in a relationship is critical. No safety,
Yes.
no trust. No trust, no relationship, right? So, gotta have
Mm-hmm.
that in place, right? Safe, secure, and significant. My three S's, remember? We talked about
Mm-hmm.
that at the event as well. So I think it's just
Yeah.
these little things, these little tips that I can give you, but these experiences that really make the difference. Do
Mm.
you agree?
Yes, definitely. Oh, definitely. And I like, Seafood, this is another thing that I think is important with coaching is the ability to have someone else to look in. I think hubby and I, we both had throughout our marriage, we were like, if I'm wrong, I want to know that I'm wrong. I think both of us felt that way. Like if I just want someone, if I'm wrong, I want to know that I'm wrong,
Right.
and so that I could take a turn, and just to have like a mediator, or to have a person who can moderate our conversation, to see what is she saying and what is he saying, because sometimes it's like we're talking but one person is talking Spanish and the other person is talking French, and it's like
Yeah.
what.
That's an interesting point you bring up because I think so many times people come to a coach or a counselor or somebody and they want to know that they're right. And one of the questions I'm very fond of asking is, do you care more about being right than you care about the relationship?
Oh, that's good.
Right? Or is this about being right? Or is this about helping the relationship to work? Because if we could suspend this idea of right and wrong and just come from a place of understanding and meeting in the middle, maybe, just maybe, we can figure things out and help it to run a little smoother. Right? But if we're
Mm-hmm.
constantly focusing on where you're wrong and you're right, and we're pointing fingers, then what are we really? We're not getting anywhere, right? And you know what happens when you point a finger, right? There's three fingers pointing back at you.
Right, right, right. Oh, that's good. That is so good. I think that it is really important just for someone watching out there just to know that your relationship is not a deal breaker, because there's teachable moments. There's a series. A lot of times we have to teach one another how to love us. And that was that's the purpose too of coaching, is to help someone, help you communicate, someone who can be help you have an eye opener, just and then be the mouthpiece as well for the other spouse, which is helpful, because it's sometimes it takes another person to step in and say what you're saying, but maybe say it a little different where the person can understand it. But don't do marriage alone. We're better together. Even as a community, we're better together, and it helps when we fight for our marriage. We fight for our careers. We fight for everything else. Fight for your marriage. Fight for your relationship. And it doesn't hurt to invest in your marriage. You invest in a divorce. We hear people investing in divorces all the time. People are making money off of your disagreement.
Mm-hmm.
And why can't you take that investment and put it into making your marriage healthy,
Mm-hmm.
making your marriage strong? But Sifo, I would love for you to tell people how to reach you, how to get a hold of you, how to be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah, I just think what you're saying is so important. About this investment. I see so many people invest so much in their wedding and forget that there's a whole marriage after that,
Yes,
right? The
a whole
wedding is one
marriage.
day; it's the first day of the marriage, right?
Yes,
So we have to use
yes,
that perspective and keep that in mind. And the other thing is for those singles out there is to really understand yourself. who you are as an
Yes.
individual before you get into that commitment with someone else. What are your challenges? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Where do you need to work on things? And what is your attachment style? Which is one of the exercises that I'll be doing during my uh, 3-day Love and World Challenge. And as you know, that's just coming up now. So if you haven't registered, you still have time to register. We go live on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And you need to go to loveandworldchallenge.com to register
Mm,
for that. Okay.
mm. That's good. That's really good. Also, I know we've had you guys have to look at the previous links that we had with interviews with Sifu where he came on because there's some good information and good tips. Also, Sifu is a published author
Mhm.
and he has a wonderful book, just a wonderful book because this is a lot of people are struggling and having hard times. This is the time to, purchase a book that will be like a coach in your pocket. That's
Mm,
kind of what I
that's
call
good.
that book with Sifu, a coaching
Coach it in your pocket.
in your pocket. Yeah,
That's a,
keep that book with
that
you.
might be a good title for a book.
Yeah, coach in your pocket.
The coach in your pocket. Just like that book I used to give you. I gave you a
Yeah, the
long
little
time
book
ago.
on faith.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
It was like a pocketbook. Yeah.
So when you get in trouble or you're not communicating, you go to a
Pu-
certain page
And pull it
and you
out.
pull it out and say,
Yeah.
do this, this, and this.
Right.
That's a good thing.
And it really does help. Like, and that's what I love about Seafood's coaching as well is that he give you material that you can, refer back to when times get rough. And that's very important for coaching. But I know our time is getting short.
Yep.
I just I just really I want to make sure we have that information and the link for seafood of how to reach you. I know it's in other previous videos, but I want to make sure we put it in this video too as well.
All right.
So, Seafood, do you have any last words for
Yeah,
our
we have a
couples
new
out
app
there?
coming out, and that's one of our slogans, actually. It's like a life coach in your pocket. It really will be. You'll feel like you're
Wow.
speaking directly to you. And it's really amazing to see how well this thing has come together. It's going to be called Seafood One. So
Oh,
be on the lookout for that. I'll put the link in the comments when I see this video posted.
thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And then, husband, do you have any last words?
No, I'm the engineer. I'm just trying to keep things together. And so,
You're doing a good
we work
job,
as a team,
sir. Yes.
and that's what it's all about in
Mhm.
marriage, is working together.
Yeah.
We are better together.
Together. Yes,
It's a sad thing when you're married, but you can't work together.
Yeah.
Like you guys are on two different waves.
Yeah.
Like, you do your thing, I do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing about us, we have always wanted to work together,
Together. Yeah.
and we figured it out.
Yeah. We didn't always think we could though,
Oh, yeah.
because we were too strong. Both of us were strong.
Hmm.
Both of us. But I think that is something so important. We talked about this in a previous video with Sifu is you got to know your lane.
Hmm.
You got to understand what's your role.
Hmm.
What's your role? Who's making up the bed? Like,
Right.
when we started a radio show, Life Choice Radio, it was like, okay, what are you doing and versus what am I doing? So know your role. It will resolve a lot of issues if you guys have defining roles in
Hmm.
your relationship.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen. Thank you for joining us on tonight with Seafood Remain and Harold and
Yeah.
Delonica with Love and Marriage.
Yeah.
And we love you. We love you and love you. And there is nothing you can do about it. Peace.